Superstorm Sandy, the largest tropical system ever recorded in the Atlantic. And the New Jersey shore is caught in the bullseye.
Oh, we're getting ready to die. Oh, get him up.
Follow the path of destruction from inside the storm, block by block and minute by minute.
This Hurricane 1 for the record books has basically rearranged the Jersey Shore.
From the battered shores of Seaside Heights.
This waterfall coming on top of us, we knew we were in deep, deep, deep trouble.
To the mangled, flood-ravaged streets on the mainland.
I started yelling into all these black holes. I just knew that we had lost Kathy.
To the frigid bay, where a man struggles to survive after a monstrous wave sucks him out to sea.
I'm screaming help on the top of my lungs, and there's nobody here for me.
Experience the most dangerous hurricanes on the planet, as if you were there, caught in the eye of the storm. This is Hurricane 360. October 29th, 2012, 7 p.m. The town of Seaside Heights on the New Jersey shore braces for an approaching tropical storm. Police Chief Thomas Boyd and Fire Chief Frank Samarelli drive onto the boardwalk to assess the situation.
We went up on the boardwalk and we're looking at the pier, and as we're filming, a wave came up underneath us and just picked up the boardwalk and dropped us.
Oh, get him up.
Oh, we're getting ready to die.
We're getting out of here.
We were scared. The pier had already started coming apart. We knew we were in deep, deep, deep trouble.
127 miles of the New Jersey shoreline lie in the path of one of the most destructive storms in U.S. history.
Sandy is getting bigger and bigger. This monstrous wind machine is going to push water ashore at levels that we haven't seen in decades.
Typically, hurricanes that move this far north lose steam and turn out to sea. But Sandy grows to almost 1,000 miles wide, the largest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded. A high-pressure system over Greenland, combined with a low-pressure system from the northeast, draws it westward. As it approaches the coast, Hurricane Sandy morphs into a superstorm.
It was like somebody was driving it to make that left turn and just slam into us.
Many underestimate Sandy's strength and refuse to evacuate. However, the storm is not only hitting at high tide, but there's a full moon. The gravitational pull of the moon on the ocean can increase the tidal height by 20% or higher. It all adds up to a recipe for disaster. Seaside Heights, New Jersey, 7 p.m. This oceanside community, made famous by the reality TV series Jersey Shore, is located on the Barnegat Peninsula, a narrow 30-mile-long spit of land that separates the bay from the Atlantic Ocean.
It's going from bad to worse tonight on the Jersey Shore. Look at the surge. Just look at the force of the water. It's like a raging river.
8 p.m. The storm surge intensifies as high tide approaches. Monstrous waves reaching 15 to 20 feet and propelled by hurricane-force gusts slam into the east coast. As the storm hits Seaside Heights, Boyd and Samarelli search for stranded residents as a torrent of water cascades down the streets.
We hear some young guy yelling and he's screaming, help, help. We look up and there he is in a tree.
Their truck can't make it across the river of seawater to rescue him.
They said, hey pal, we can't come get you. You gotta swim to us. So he was doggy paddling over to us, got him in the back of the truck.
Samarelli tries to maintain control of the vehicle as a wall of debris-choked water hits them head-on.
I see one lifeguard boat go by, and I see another lifeguard boat go by, then I see a lifeguard stand come at us, and that's when it just hit us. And piece of bulwark actually broke through and hit the front of that truck like a plow, and he wasn't letting us go anywhere. The truck was losing traction, and it's just like a waterfall coming on top of us. So now we're trying to plow through the Atlantic Ocean, which everybody knows you're not going to be able to do.
The surging water lifts the truck off the ground and sweeps it down the street.
And we started going backwards, and at the same time, the poor kid that's in the back of the truck is screaming, you know, I should have stayed in the bleeping tree. You're going to kill me. He thought he was going to die, you know, because we were in a bad way. Finally, it brought us all the way back to the end of a block down, and the water subsided. We just got lucky.
A few miles to the north of Seaside Heights, on Normandy Beach, Jack Buzzy and his girlfriend Melissa Griffith are retrieving valuable possessions from their basement when they hear the roar of an ocean wave.
I hear something, and it makes me look up, and all of a sudden, all of the windows burst. Water rushed in, and I dropped whatever I was holding, and I heard Jack yelling. I just took off across the basement, and I remember reaching the top of the stairs, and the water was right at my heels.
Melissa just made it up the stairs, and I made it about 3/4 of the way up the stairs. The water flooded to 7.5 feet in about 30 seconds.
As Jack and Melissa retreat to the second floor, they feel the house rumble and shake as monstrous waves and piercing wind hammer away at it.
The phone systems were going down, and all the transformers in the neighborhood were all exploding. We were getting text messages, people were trapped, and they were a lot worse off than we were.
Jack receives a frantic text message from the brother of his neighbor, Kathy. A row of oceanfront homes collapsed on top of hers. She's now trapped.
The bottom of the house completely collapsed, and she rode the top of the house down, and then the other houses started pushing on that house.
I saw Jack putting on his foul weather gear, and I saw him getting extra rope. My heart started racing. So I realized that he was going out into the rising water.
I could see a good part of her house looked like it was still standing. I went up and I was knocking on this door, but the only thing that was there was the door and a wall. So beyond it, that part of the house was basically imploded. It was gone.
Across Barnegat Bay, in Toms River, 29-year-old Mike Guyan stays behind at his grandparents' oceanfront home on Bayview Drive after they evacuate. He's trying to save it from flooding, but he's losing the fight.
When I'm looking downstairs, I see that the water is already 6 feet high, so I knew the whole downstairs of the house was gone. You could see the waves crashing on the windows. I was freaking out at that point, and then all of a sudden I heard a noise, and then the back roof of the house collapsed. So I thought, I don't want to get crushed in this house.
Mike decides he must try to escape.
I opened up the door, and I immediately got sucked out, and I was holding onto the railing. The water pressure was it was just so strong. I couldn't open up the door to go back in the house.
Mike makes a desperate call to his dad.
I say, I'm not going to make it. And he's screaming at me, what do you mean you're not going to make it? I told him, I'm sorry, Dad, I love you. I can't hold on any longer.
The force of the surging current sweeps him out to sea.